It's getting to be time to get a new camera. My lens has got some splatters from some previous projects. Oh, that's right. We're starting the video. Good afternoon, tubes. Wait. Good afternoon, tubes. It's me, Jimmy. I've been gone for a while. I've been, well, busy, per se, kinda. Actually, I've been procrastinating what I'm about to do, or about to start in this video. I'm doing this before work. I've been on day shift for a while, and working day shift, man, I hate day shift so much. I'm not on it anymore. I'm on nights, which I'm really excited for. That, and I can get back to my normal sleep schedule. And it also means I can get up early and do things during the day before work. And that's what I'm doing here. I want to try and do this, or at least get this started before I go to work. And what I'm going to be doing on this is, my intake manifold has a little bit of a leak, and I think it's been causing me some issues. It's leaking around the EGR ports in the cylinder heads. The way this is set up with the intake that I have on it, which is a Ford Racing intake, the EGR ports now serve as a intake heater, and the point of that is it keeps the bottom of the intake from freezing. There are other ways that manufacturers would use to combat that. This one just happens to use the EGR ports, and it just heats up the bottom of the intake and keeps everything kosher, and it works fine. But for some reason it blew out on both sides, which I haven't had this problem before. I've had this intake for a few years now, and I've only had this problem now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the whole top off of here. I'm probably gonna have to pull the distributor, which is fantastic. But yeah, and also I haven't been into this engine. I built this engine last year, right around the end of summer, and I have not had to really touch it a whole lot, other than a thermostat gasket likes to blow once in a while, and it did that to me luckily close to home and close to a Napa, so I was able to, get that fixed really quickly. It doesn't look like it's leaking, but I think I might also have a slightly... I'm pretty sure this radiator leaks. So if it doesn't leak at the engine, it leaks at the radiator. If it doesn't leak at the radiator, it leaks at the engine at the thermostat gasket. So this is definitely going to need a radiator at some point, and it sucks because this was a new radiator when I got this truck. I didn't buy it, it came with. So that's just the way it is. I built this thing last year. We did, 30 over. I did a comp cams 268H. Almost forgot the camshaft. Double roller timing kit. It's just got stock rods. Of course, it's a loud freaking delivery truck. Stock rods, stock crank, stock block, stock heads. Just different camshaft. Stock pistons, but 30 over. So, yeah. Holley Sniper EFI. That has been a real nice treat. That actually, when I first started this engine up with the 4-barrel quick fill that I had in it, it ran pretty good and it had decent power, but as soon as I put that Holley Sniper on here, man, I tell you what, this thing can get a little scary, actually. And I'm also not used to having engines that make more than 30 horsepower, so that's kind of what this was making beforehand. I've been a little busy with just a little bit of everything. Work, and I don't know. I haven't necessarily been in the mood to... Well, this isn't necessarily a fun project for me. I really didn't want to have to do this again. Okay, I bought a lot of carburetor gaskets. When I get I still haven't ordered the correct throttle, not throttle, carburetor spacer. I need to get one that's a not an open. I need to get one that's, I don't even know the name anymore. Anyways, I bought 4 of these. They were cheap, so I bought 4. And then we've got a new intake gasket set. The intake off, the air cleaner. Cleaner doesn't look too bad. I lost my gasket for this. I actually made it. We got a little bit of dirt. Oh, you know what? It's probably from these little guys here. I don't think I have another gasket. I don't really like seeing. Some of that's just oil from the breather that I got on there. For the Holly. Yeah, this Sniper's been a pretty good unit. It's got so much dirt on it now because I've been actually using it. I haven't had a monkey with it. That. And then we've got, this is our distributor plug. We'll go ahead and disconnect that. I'm probably going to pull this distributor out. Probably just pull it out anyways because it kind of covers the intake. So I need to get this cover off, mark it, and then we'll be good there. Should probably pull the plug wires off. I know where everything is. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm gonna leave everything here. That would be great. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll just pull the plug wires off. Okay. Oh, we're leaking at that heater hose. Oh, it's pinched, so I'll have to cut. Glad I found that. That would have been annoying. Okay, so we'll have to cut that hose and move her forward a little bit. What do we got going on in here? That's pretty much what the valve covers looked ever since I got a hold of this thing. Looks pretty clean. Let's take a plug out. Let's take number 1 out. Look how easy it is to get to when you got all that junk out of the way. I think I got NGKs in this. I found my Motorcrafts. They were in a bucket. The bucket of misery. When I put this engine together, I was gonna reuse the Motorcrafts that I had in here, but I might just put some NGKs in it. Well, that's what number 1 is looking like. This one's really clean. This one might be running lean because of possibly because of that leak. Look how clean that is though. She might be running a little lean. Oh, see what you guys think. I mean, there's no dirt on that at all. I haven't taken these plugs out since I rebuilt the engine, so they've got almost 5,000 miles or something like that. Oh, yeah. I think I even used a torque wrench on them. Wow. So this is number 3. Wow. Here's number 4. It's looking a little dirtier than the rest. So I think possibly because of that intake leak, we might be running lean on 2 cylinders. And it doesn't smoke or anything. So that might be what's happening, is we're running just a little lean on some cylinders. Let's take the other plugs out. All right, plug-a-lator number 5. We got plug number 6. No, drop the plug. Well, I'm gonna have to re-gap that one. That's what happens when you drop plugs. Also looks very clean, so we've only got 2 that were just a little dirty. Caught a cobweb there. And this one was just a little dirtier. We'll check the gap on those. Maybe close the gap up a tiny bit. I think this one's 42 to 46 thousandths. Might close them up to like 40. Want to see a big fat cock? I have a chicken over here. It's not mine. You better not come over here and fuck with me. I'll turn you into dinner. Pardon my language. Our sniper unit out there. We got, well, that cat for the PCV line is looking a little worse for wear, so we'll go ahead and remove that and put our PCV back to that spot. That's where it used to go. Man, it's nice and clean down there. That was kind of loose too. We've just been driving this truck and like not really, haven't really checked anything other than the oil. And there's our cap and rotor. There goes our screw. I love my new toolbox that I bought. Where did I buy it? Earlier this year. So I'm gonna make a line. So as long as this rotor tab is pointing right at that mark, we'll be back to where we were on timing. And before we do the compression test, we'll put that back in. Oh, I'm gonna go get life support for you. And it is not very tight because I'm not an idiot. Just snug. We need to check our gear anyways. Looks good. It's pretty much mostly in the center. Nice. That just looks good in there. Like, sweet. I should get a bolt for that. Let's snap that off of there and then lay it over the side, get it out of our way. I found my assortment of screws for this, so we can take care of that. So we got our wiring out of the way. Just kind of want to catch on the sway bar. Yeah. Oh, I don't think the hose was split. I think this fitting is garbage. Go pick up a new one. We're draining the heater core now. I'm gonna start in the center and just kind of work my way out. That's not what I wanted to happen. Yeah, we're 3/8. It's just ready to come off. Alright, we're broke free. Oh, I see what I did wrong. I see what I did wrong. I'll show you. Let me get this open. Whoops. You know, you're always going to have some kind of a builder mistake when you put an engine together. Yeah, this is head side. Yeah, I got it backwards. So what I did is I had it like this. I had it like this. So this is your EGR port, and there's an extra little hole there. And this is supposed to cover that. And then there's another, so you have the port, but there's also this little guy right here. This is going to cover that, and then your intake is going to sandwich onto that. Because I did it the other way and on both sides, that's why I'm getting this leak. And that's also going to be why we're probably running a little lean on a couple of cylinders. It's because we have that exhaust leaking, so that might be affecting the combustion process, making it want to run lean. So, yeah, all I gotta do is pop these gaskets out. I think they're RTV'd in, so that's gonna be a little fun. I'm gonna work on that for a little bit, and then we're gonna call it a day and get ready for work. It's been a few days, but I'm back. It's my day off. We're gonna put new intake gaskets on. I've already cleaned the mating surfaces. Already found a spot I missed. Just want to make sure we don't have any big spots sticking up. And we're good to go. So the goal here is we want to put our intake gasket on correctly. The way these normally sit is you have these little notches. These would hook into your factory head gasket. I have a different head gasket on this, and it does not have those tabs. So the gasket has a tendency to want to like drop down. So what I do is I take some RTV. In fact, I might just take some and put it right here. I probably should use some RTV. These heads aren't necessarily perfect. But what I want to do is I want to glue this on just enough so it stays where it should go. We get the intake on, and we put our bolts in, and then we can kind of lock her in place. I'll go ahead and put some RTV on this. I'm going to do it right here on the gasket, and then I'll set it on just so I'm not blowing out my back, you know. I got some Felpro gray RTV silicone. I'm going to put a little bit on here, just kind of coat it, and then we'll slap it on. And then I'll do the same for the other gasket. And then we'll build our China walls, which is just putting a big fat bead on the walls where the ends of the intake meet. And then we can set our intake on there and start putting this thing back together. But yeah, what happened last time is I put it in this way. So there's that little hole right up above here was not sealing. And that was causing a vacuum leak, and I believe it's causing this to run a little lean. So what it was wanting to do is it kept adding fuel until it was satisfied, and that made this thing very, very thirsty. I'm just going to put a little thin coat on here. Just around where everything seals up. Yeah, get it! Local meth heads just speeding through town. I'm noticing it's not quite getting up to that port. By the way, I owe one of you a $50 gift card. So if you want to redeem that, you need to send me your information so I can mail it to you. I'll put an email down below where you can contact me, and I'll look out for that email. Okay, it's a little thick, but that's fine. We need everything we got. That port still seems like it's not getting covered up. I don't know why there's exhaust coming from that anyways. If this still is an issue, I think what I'll do is I'll probably get like a brass plug and plug both those holes. I don't mind the actual EGR port being functional because it does keep the bottom of the intake heated so nothing is freezing over. So there's that. Alright, I'm going to get back in here and build my China wall here. Next wall. I already went ahead and cleaned this up. Got to get this truck back up and running. I need it. I got to mow the yard and I got to load up the truck with the grass clippings and take it to the farm. I got scrap metal I got to haul off. Now there's a torque spec. I believe these are 20 foot-pounds. I think what I'm going to opt for is just going by hand because this is going to settle anyways, so we'll start it by hand and then I'll come back later after this thing heats up and everything and then we'll retorque it. Put that on there like that. And we'll set this bad boy in like that. Get our situate our throttle in a moment and our cables. I got this fitting here for the heater hose. It was leaking a little bit, kind of dirty. I've got a fancy wire wheel thing. I'm gonna go clean this up. And less than a minute later, it's almost like brand new. I'm getting ready to hook up my doodad here. A little bit of a mess here, but my power wire from the alternator is getting a little special there. I'm gonna have to cut that piece out. Yeah, it's been charging. It's probably because we got a lot of electronics going on. This is the charge wire, and I have a 175 amp alternator there. Yeah. All right. Compression tester, adapter. I still had this out from last year when we built this engine. Got the Lone Wolf 6000. I just tested it and it is in neutral. So let's see what we got. Can you see? We're at a little over 120. Let's try that one more time with the throttle open. And about the same. Exactly the same. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. 190 something. No, not 190. What am I thinking? I don't know, 110. Just a little bit lower. Let's see what we got here. Just a tad higher. Cylinder number 5. $121. Okay. Next. $119. So we did 5, 6, and we're on 7. $121. Cylinder 8. About $119. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the plugs back in, get the wires oriented, get some coolant in it, and I think we're ready to fire it up. I definitely need to get a upgraded battery cable. I know there's a company that makes a kit out there. I think it's Third Eye Blind Racing or something like that. No, it's $200 for the kit. I'm just gonna get a 4-gauge battery cable and replace that one, the burnt one, with a new thicker piece. I think I got some wire we can use. Put some new ends on it. Have a fresh wire there, and then still run an extra cable right to the battery, so we're not cooking anything. Because this alternator is a 175, I think, from a '94 Explorer Limited. They usually run a pretty decent alternator in it, so that's what I have in here. So yeah, I'm happy with the compression test. That's good. We got our intake resealed, and hopefully it stays sealed. And then now we can move on to our next thing, which is just being done with this. All right, so we drained 2 gallons of coolant. This is what came out. We'll put it back in, and then once we get it running fully bled out, then we'll top off the overflow. I think my jug here is leaking, so we're gonna just get this poured in there. All right, I've got 2 gallons of coolant put back into it. It's probably gonna have a little bit of air left in it, but we'll run it, and then we'll keep bleeding it, and then we'll fill that up and let it just naturally build up. So with this intake leak hopefully fixed, it might run a little weird, so might have to do a little tuning, maybe just like adjusting the throttle plates or whatever. I'm hoping I don't have to touch it because it's been running at 0% IAC, idle air control. So it's possible that it might actually go back into the 5%, 7% range that it should be at. So we'll find out. We've got important tools. We got a cross point, a flathead, and we have a 13. Distributor's a little loose. With it being able to control its own timing, we might not have to mess with it, but we're going to check timing when it's warmed up. And see where we're at. This is set to, I think, either 12 or 14, I can't remember. So if it's reads that much on the harmonic balancer, then we'll roll with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up, and I'm actually gonna back it out a little bit, and just so if we do some purging, we're not soaking the concrete driveway with more coolant. Shit. We got a lot of air. Well, why are you not starting? For some reason, I'm not getting any RPM, and the computer is not syncing with the distributor, so I'm going to have to take a look at what's going on there. Well, annoyingly, my distributor is not powering on. I don't know what happened when I took it out, but I'm not getting power to it, or it's not powering up. I'm getting power to it, so I'm not too happy about that. So I'm gonna take a break from it, dig into it a little bit, and yeah, go from there. So I think that's gonna end this video here. I'll catch you guys in the next one.